Is this the year of the duck? Appreciate you stopping by here at the Voice of College Football. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. We are running through the win probabilities for teams across the country. Oregon's got to be the biggest brand in the country to never win a national championship. Can they do it in their first year in the Big Ten? They came oh so close to appearing in a college football playoff last season, losing two close ones to Washington, of course, by one score each. Now, they in Washington, USC and UCLA travel to the Big Ten, so it's a much different look for this Ducks team, much different set of challenges. Let's check it out for 2024 and look at the win probabilities for Oregon football with that monumental date against Ohio State in October. So right now, I believe the Buckeyes are a slightly better team than Oregon. However, Ohio State's got to travel cross-country, play in one of the more difficult environments in college football at Autzen Stadium. They're not familiar with that, and so I give the Ducks a 52% chance of defeating the Buckeyes. Flip that script against Michigan. I do believe at this point Oregon's one of the 4 or 5 best teams in the country, and Michigan's more like one of the 7 or 8 or 10 best teams in the country. But it's traveling cross-country, going to Michigan in November, so I give Michigan the slight lean based on the home field advantage. And I am not a big believer in home field advantage. I believe it exists, but not to the extent that most people do. And you will see that reflected in my percentages versus the percentages you see, for example, by the FPI, where they lean heavily in the favor of the home field. Oregon's got an interesting date at Wisconsin on November 16th against the Badgers. Give them a 60% chance of winning. Again, I think the Ducks are clearly the better team at this point. We're standing in July, but because of the road environment at Wisconsin, difficult place to play, weather could be a concern, 60%. November 30th, traditional matchup. So the Oregon State affair to conclude the season is going to be replaced in the Big Ten by Oregon-Washington. Ducks will be coming off a late season bye to prepare for one final game, and taking on Washington in Eugene, give the Ducks a 79% chance of winning that game. Similar odds taking on Maryland. The Terps come in earlier in November. This has been a good football team. They got to replace the starting quarterback, of course. Give the Ducks an 81% chance. 82% is the number we arrive at against Oregon State. Ducks blasted the Beavers last year. Oregon State, of course, won with that tremendous rushing attack 2 years ago. The game's in Corvallis, and it's going to be interesting and odd to see them on the same field in September. Give the Ducks an 82% chance of winning. Oregon goes to the Rose Bowl to take on UCLA on September 28th. This has been an excellent series down through the years. Oregon is coming off a bye. UCLA is probably going to be down. 84% is the probability we give to the Ducks. Similar to Purdue, that game's on the road on a Friday night in West Lafayette. Similar to the odds that we favored the Ducks against Michigan State. Of course, these two teams had a home-and-home series back in 2014-2015. Oregon, Illinois get together in Eugene, and the Ducks will be overwhelming favorites against the Illini unless things drastically change. I love the Boise State game. I love when teams from the Pac-12 or the former Pac-12 take on Boise State. The game's in Eugene on September 7th. Give the Ducks a 94% chance of defeating the Broncos. And then, of course, there is virtually no shot for the Vandals of Idaho on August 31st. Oregon could go undefeated. They've got the Buckeyes at home. They look to be a more explosive team, more talented team right now than Michigan, although that's an extremely difficult assignment, a proud football team and a proud football program. So those are the two basically toss-up games. Wisconsin is a threat on the road in November. They're on a tier by themselves. Washington, Maryland, Oregon State, they've got punchers' chances, and everybody else should be a win for Oregon for sure. Again, if you go strictly by the win probabilities here at the Voice of College Football, the Ducks go 11-1 with a shot at 12-0, and of course, 10-2 should be the magic number to get any team from the Big Ten in the playoff. Your comments down below, tell me where I missed it, where I hit it in regards to win probabilities, as we look at Oregon football. Keep it locked in here at the Voice of College Football. We are doing this for all the major brands across the country and talking realignment this week as well over on the main channel. So check it out right here at the Voice of College Football.